This whole thing is you can see what's mounting all of this. The new critical race theory, the critical legal theory, the George Soros prosecutors, the politicalization of the election, getting the the presidential nominee off the ballot, two standards of justice for Biden and Donald Trump vis-a-vis Jack Smith's investigation, the destruction of our downtowns in Minneapolis, Portland, Seattle, Los Angeles, Washington, the soaring crime rate that nobody wants to talk about, the open border, 8 million people. It's a civilization in free fall. And I wrote a column this week about it, and I quoted the proem to Livy's Monumental History of Rome, and he said, when you know the problem, I'm paraphrasing, but when you know the problem and you know what has to be done, but you can't do it because of the social disdain or odium or impediments, then the society collapses. We know we have to close the border. We know we have to tell people who came here illegally to go back where they came and apply legally. But we know that would be a monumental task. We know we have to put people in jail who hit people, steal, carjack, but we know that our prisons would fill up again, and we know what that would be like as far as the left. We know what the homeless problem has to be solved. We have to build mental institutions. We have to build humane areas where they can be transported with shelter, medical care away from the downtown. But we know that would require some coercion to put them on buses and get them help. And we can't do that. So we're paralyzed. And we think, you know what? I know it's not healthy that these beautiful cities have excrement on the sidewalk or that people are assaulted by homeless people, but I can handle it. I just can't handle being told that I'm a fascist or I'm mean. And when you get to that stasis, and the veneer of civilization is very, very thin. Once you strip off that thin layer of civilization, you get human nature in the raw, and it's not a pretty sight. As you see at Market Street in San Francisco, or you see with a smash and grab in Washington, or you see a Saturday night in the inner city of Chicago, or you see Gavin Newsom or the Biden family just free to do whatever they want and flaunt the law. I think everybody got to realize something about the left. This is a bunch of very, very, very wealthy people who are very well connected. In our California version, it is Nancy Pelosi, Jerry Brown, Gavin Newsom. These people were responsible for the state. They're all very wealthy. They're all from political families. They all know each other, and they're all hard left with one asterisk. The consequences of their politics never apply to them or their friends. They don't want to pay $20 an hour for all of it. This guy owes over 2,000 franchises nationwide. He's a billionaire. And just think of how tight and cheap these people are. They throw down $20 an hour down the throats of small businesses and franchise owners. And then just to save that $4 an hour in his 20-something Panera Bread outlets, he gets an exemption in the bill. And then Gavin Newsom lies. And we just, in California, from some of your listeners, if you didn't know, our representative from Fresno, Juan Arambla Jr., just introduced a bill qualifying illegal aliens who are massing at the border in huge numbers to be eligible for low interest discount loans for the underprivileged. So what you're basically telling the middle class of California that can't afford a home, you should just go down to Mexico, renounce your citizenship, and come back in illegally, and you'll be eligible for a low interest impoverished loan. And it's driven out the entrepreneur, the small business person. 10 million have left in the last 30 years. And it's a medieval state, as I keep saying, of very poor people and very, very wealthy people. I was in Arizona, at a Bradley Foundation meeting. I looked at the gas was $3.40. 2 hours later, I look at the gas, it's $5.90. I couldn't believe it. California is the 5th largest holder of natural gas and oil reserves of the 50 states. And everything, it's just insane what they're doing. And so when you can't afford it, you have to be poor, and then you get subsidies. You get, subsidized electricity, subsidize this, subsidize that. So don't report your income. They don't go after you. Or if you're very wealthy, you can pay, and then the people in between leave. Everybody should remember, when you see all these people coming across the border just to take the issue of immigration, if they come across and they are 100% American in attitude and values and training, and they're productive, I think that's wonderful. But when you have so many people come so quickly, and they don't have English, and they don't have legality, and they don't have an audit background, and many of them don't have a high school diploma, and many of them come from illiberal, impoverished societies, and they're greeting a host that has lost confidence in the melting pot and requires nothing other than to give free stuff to the immigrant. It doesn't say, if you're going to come here, you have 90 days to take a citizenship test. They don't ask anything. Yeah. Well, then why wouldn't the people bring the values of the country they came from? In other words, we would have people from the Congo, we'd have people from China, we'd have people from Venezuela, we'd have people from Oaxaca. They would just act as if they were in their countries here. And that's what's happened. This is Joe Biden's America now. There is no law. I mean, there really isn't, if you think about it. There's law is pro forma. Smash and grab, no law. Shoplifting, no law. Everybody knows it. And so what do? You either go to a red state where there is state laws that are enforced. I don't know what you do, but Trump has an ad out. I don't know if you've seen it. Have you seen it about the Georgia tragic death?
No, I did not. What's it say?
It's devastating. It just has, for the first 10 seconds, it's got everybody saying, the border is secure. The border is not open. This is Corinne Jean-Pierre. The border has been secure for a long time. Mayorkas. The border has always been secure. It's never been more secure. Joe Biden. I don't know if the border is secure. The border is secure. And then it shows pictures of the crime scene and pictures of the assailant. And what was he doing? And it's Joe Biden's America. Yeah. It's very dangerous in Joe Biden's America. You know, it was very funny how the left looks at all of these things. They look at this as acceptable collateral damage. They didn't talk about the young student. They talked about the dangers of young women jogging, because they're anti-humanist, and they'll never talk about the damage in real terms. It's almost Stalinist. It's almost, well, we have to make an omelet, we have to break some eggs. It's a civilizational crisis, a free fall, and it has to be arrested very quickly, or we're going to be third world. And so it happened very quickly. I think the lockdown and the disastrous COVID quarantine, the George Floyd mania, the whole Trump derangement syndrome, it was kind of like a perfect storm that wrecked the country. And it's gotta happen. The Renaissance has to begin very quickly, because things change very quickly. I think people forget that. Remember, we keep quoting that line from The Sun Also Rises, suddenly, gradually, then suddenly, about bankruptcy. And San Francisco had problems in 2008, 2010, 2015. Then suddenly around 2021 or 22, it just all imploded. That's one of the reasons, for the first time, I think Donald Trump is going to win. It's not so much Donald Trump. It's this election's on one, whether you're for civilization or not. It's that simple. You're either for civilization or you're not.